Hi, everybody. Mark Plunkett, the pastor of Heritage Presbyterian Church, and this is another of our 2-minute Bible lessons. Today I'm going to talk about something pretty serious and something that hits pretty close to home: divorce. I have seen people that I have loved get divorced. I've seen all kinds of situations where people split up, get divorced, sometimes stay married to each other but are separated for years. I've seen all kinds of reasons for why this happens and some that it doesn't. Let's focus on what it says in the Bible. What does Jesus have to say about this? Well, in the Gospel of Mark, he says some pretty harsh things. The Pharisees came to him one day, and they are testing him. Now, you know how they were. They said to him, "Teacher, is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife?" And of course, Jesus knew what they were doing. They were being sneaky. They were trying to trap him. There was a way to get divorced, but it was always led by the men. Always led by the men. It was never led by the woman. Lawfully. Anyway. Now, of course, this opens the whole door to, well, what if the woman was being abused? What if the woman was being cheated on? What if the woman was being humiliated? What if she was forced into the marriage and she didn't want to? See, Jesus doesn't address any of those things. Jesus is only talking to these Pharisees in this situation. But it gets a little more complicated. He says at the end of it, what God has joined together, let no one separate. Okay, I can agree with that, even though I've seen some situations where people need to be divorced. But then he talks to his apostles, and this is what he said. Whoever divorces his wife and marries another commits adultery against her. And if she divorces her husband and marries another, she commits adultery. Folks, does this mean that people who are divorced should live in a sense of shame for the rest of their life, even if they didn't do anything wrong, or even if they made a mistake? We are human beings. Sometimes we make mistakes, even in things as important as marriage. I personally have an awful lot of grace for people who are divorced. I understand an awful lot of things. Do I think people should fly from one marriage to another and just marry whenever they want to and divorce whenever they want to? Of course I don't. Would I remarry anybody who had acted like that? Probably not. Probably not. But I know an awful lot of divorced people that if they asked me to do their ceremony, I would do it, and I would do it gladly. There's a lot to be said about divorce, but the word I want everybody to remember is grace. We don't show each other enough of that, and everybody needs it, including people who are divorced. Amen.